Okay, good afternoon. Thank you all for being here. I would like to call this meeting to order. And so the first thing we need to do is we need to approve the minutes. So if you all have had a chance to read over the minutes, are there any discussion?
Maybe more of a suggestion, just so that we're accountable to each other. Can we add a present and a non-present?
On the minutes?
On the minutes, just going forward. I mean, definitely. Just not otherwise say anyone.
They write it there with the presence.
No, I'm saying today, but it's not written, not present.
Oh, the people who.
Yeah, because I guess what I'm saying is it's not listed anywhere. All the board members.
So if you can, I guess, put the names of all the members and look at box and mark those that are present. And also help you tabulate, if somebody's missing.
Right, that's inconsistent.
But other than that, there's nothing wrong with the minutes.
No,
obviously. So would anybody like to entertain a motion to approve the minutes?
There is no public comment.
No public comment today. So that means we move over and we start with business here. First one is our library report. And apparently we have a marquee update.
Juan and Brenda are not available today. Juan will return back to library tomorrow, so I will be stepping in. My name is Jessica Bobo. I'm the branch manager for the main branch. Our marquee update is that we have started the demolition for the main branch, so it is gone. So that will be starting to come up pretty soon. It's pretty much going to look the same as Southmost, except that it's going to say that it's at the main branch, and then the color will not be purple. It will be like an olive green. It will match more for the tones of the main branch. And that's where we're at. And as far as here at Main, we are still pending the PUB connection. So we are working with our internal services and trying to get that, pushed so that we can hurry up and get that connected.
Okay, so how about adult services?
Thank you. Thank you, board members. Thank you so much. My name is Jose Gonzalez. I'm part of the library here at Southmost and also at Central. So I'm more than happy to present to you what we have on our adult services program. We are actually having the adult computer classes, which have been phenomenal. The response has been phenomenal. Unfortunately, it's coming down to an end, which in a couple of weeks it will be ending. But hopefully back in August, we'll continue again our classes. As you can all see our pictures down there on the left, having a great time. It's the response has been great. The classes are both in Spanish and English. So we're very diverse in our audience, in our presentations. And we've actually have these classes every Tuesday from 10:30 to 12:30 here at Southmost, and then from 5 to 7 at Central. We started off small with 5 students. Now we're up to 20. So yes, again, the community has been great. And our goal at the end is to engage with the crowd, empower them, give them the ability to continue learning, not only when the classes end that day, but we do offer a lot of more incentives for them to come back, to give us a call with programs like check out a librarian or coming over in their time off. We're always here for them. So the response has been great. We have actually partnered this month with AARP with Ms. Veronica de la Fuente, which is the Associate State Director of Art. We have actually joined with them this month, and by the great response that we had, she actually decided to integrate the classes starting August with us. So it's going to be great. I can't wait, because tomorrow morning we're going to have ARP again in the morning, and then we're going to have the class later on, the other adult class that we have. So it's been great. So let's go over, to be honest. Yes.
Sorry, are we moving on or are you still?
No, I'm still with the computer live. Oh, wait. And it's going to start back in August to October. So we're going to continue with that, and it's been great.
Well, I just want to ask what sort of, I think I asked this last time too, what sort of, it's already getting positive feedback, but anything specific in terms of questions or specific areas that people are wanting to cover?
Actually, diverse, first of all, it was that fear that they have for what's called a computer. They had a lot of fear of it. When they first started, they were worried about even looking at it. So we started off by the basics, which what is a keyboard, what is a mouse, what is a program, word program, a typing program. So then once we realized that little by little, they started losing that fear of a computer. They know how to start it, how to turn it on, turn it off, how to move a mouse. We started with a typing program. So we started off every class, we start off with a typing program for at least 30 minutes. And then we go on to cybersecurity, to downloading apps, to Microsoft Office, to Zoom. Now that's very common, right? Zoom. Gosh, there have been so many activities that we're doing with them. And some actually come back every day. We're actually learning from them now, because now they've actually gone out and checked out some of our books, and also have gone even online too. So they've been very active, and we hope that this continues, this enthusiasm continues towards the end of the month, and also for when we begin again in August. So, yes.
And I have a question. I don't know if I've asked this before. Do you all do feedback at the end of the sessions? Like when they finish, do you solicit their comments?
We do. We've actually had a little piece of paper that we pass out, and they actually fill out we ask questions and then they fill them out. We get their feedback, and then positive or negative we improve for next time. But most of the responses have been very positive. So we're learning from that. And then all of that feedback, we're going to integrate it in October and August, so we can continue to improve these classes. So.
I guess just one other question too, just in terms of knowing more about the population we serve, just two questions. What would you say sort of the age range is? And then do you find is it mostly Spanish speaking, or is it a mix? Or?
The age range would be 50 and over would be the age range. But to my surprise, a couple of weeks ago, we did get a couple of 18 to 35-year-olds. We did get some. And yes, we did. And it wasn't a surprise because our doors are open to anyone. But we did hit that range about I think it was a month. I believe it was a month ago. And they started coming in, and all of a sudden they didn't come back, right? But it just happens. Some students come in, right, and then we get new ones every day. But we get diverse, in crowds. But Spanish, bilingual actually. We get both English. So there's really not one population of just Spanish, but there's a mixture of both.
So how many classes have you had so far?
We haven't since February.
And then there's been an uptick.
And a few weeks. We were going to take a break in July, and then again restart from August to October.
As far as the uptick, as far as the increase,
That's a very good question. We really don't know. It's just, yes, we really don't know. We always say, it's word of mouth in our community, but I hope that's true. And because almost every week that we have it, there's new faces. And it's great. And now that it's the summer, I hope we're getting out more, especially when they come and visit us here for summer meetings.
Just one more question. Is there a cap on the number, or is there?
No, we decided from the very beginning there will be no cap. So we can be open to the public that we do for everyone. And even if we're hopeful, we always find a way to help them out. We don't turn anything into.
How many people can be accommodated? Is that ever happened with close to being full?
Oh yeah. We've actually over there at Central, we've actually used the computer lab, which is the internet room. We've used it before. So there's been days when we've been overwhelmed, but we decide not to leave out no students.
Double up.
Correct. Well, these have been so much fun. The little lending libraries. We actually, a couple of weeks ago, Luke and I, one of my team members, we decided to go and deliver to some of these little lending libraries. We went, in total, we went to 9 mini libraries. Right there, you see Brownie Head Start. That's here in our neighborhood. And in Lopez High School, we found out that they have one there. So we've been going to that one, and what's very surprising, and this isn't surprising, it surprises a lot, but sometimes we say it's surprising, is that we go back and they're empty. Some of these are empty. And then we go back and we start adding more and more and more items to these little mini libraries. So obviously they've been such a hit. Municipal Court has one. Look at how we packed it up. But then I definitely know that by now it's almost empty. Snoopy here on Leon Gardens, I love that one. And they have so many that actually we've left there, and we go back and they're missing. They're actually reading them. Thus far, we have delivered a total of like more than 500 magazines and books. That's the one on Brownsville Sports Park. We didn't know there was one there, but in word of mouth, we drove over there, and sure enough, there was one there. Yeah, it's right next to that beautiful Resaca that's there. And we've been delivering. We've been going through the entire city in search of these and leaving some of our literature in these mini libraries. Not only that, but also our calendars for the summer reading program. We try to leave as much information as we can, so we can spread the word over what's going on here at the public library and continue the community engagement with our community. So it's been so much fun.
Most of the elementaries have the libraries outside.
That's what I'm.
So I don't know if you've had a chance to check them out, because I know that it's very successful, especially now during the summer. Nobody can have summer school.
That's correct. So I've actually looked around, and there's some more elementary that have outside. Just find a time. We're gonna have to find a time and start getting those as well.
So by putting the books there, you said, when you're all just basically donating the books to that, like, company.
Correct. Yeah.
So it's not so much a funding, it's the little free libraries.
Well, I mean, the idea that then you return it to the
Correct.
library and you're done
You
reading.
get one, you put one back. You get one, you put one back.
You don't see that happen.
We do stamp them. We do stamp them with our Brownsville logo, so they can know that we're out there for you guys. Instead of you guys, we go to you.
Have you considered mapping it out? It'd be nice for people to have a place where they could go and they can search to see if there's one close to them.
I'm trying to remember which meeting it was where you had made mention, or someone did, as far as going to these and seeing which ones no longer exist and which ones were the ones that needed some care, maintenance. Is that something that you're still working on? I did request the same thing as far as the map.
That's a great question, because I was a little bit disappointed that I think there were two of those that we went there last time. They weren't there anymore. So I emailed Mr. Daniel Salinas, Park Operation Manager, and Ms. Araceli Sandoval, also Parks and Mission Specialist. And they told me that they were removed because of repairs. So they're being repaired. It takes a while for them to repair them, because some of these, like that one right there, in this sports part, that one's okay compared to the ones that were removed. It takes a while for them to repair them. So right now they're under construction.
If you go to, I believe it is the little free libraries and put in our zip code, it pops up, generates a map, and I'm just kind of wondering, based on your notes, how much updating did that need? If there's some way in which it can be done.
And I know Parks and Recs is the one that builds it.
Correct.
I know you have a lot to do, but Youth Build, I don't know if you're familiar with them. They might be able to help out by building one or two of those. I think something they might be interested in.
Isn't it Rita Hernandez has that workforce? I believe they've built some. She's posted social media, some that look like spaceships.
I was just going to mention that
Yes.
when I passed it. Rita does that. They have the lumber, they do it free. It's the men can practice. So that's a good source with the Cameron County workforce, Texas workforce.
The youth building.
Yeah, Youth Build is, you know where that is, right? That's
CCTV.
No, it's right next to the Rodriguez,
by the cemetery.
what?
And the Youth Build. Yeah, the very corner.
There also is the Parks and Recreation Director.
Yeah, and for the work, for CCTV, my wife worked there for years. I did that content over there. I do see it on the.
Very good.
might want, you might want to reach out to Laura Holbrook. She's the one who has taken charge of the inclusion booths. And so if you're wanting to see about donating books, I'm not certain if there's any around the area dropping off. You might want to reach out to her.
I do have a question. So can you donate books there or that's just specifically the?
No, anybody can do any book, we can do anybody can do, we see books there from local elementaries too, and from regular sections.
Brownsville County has
Maybe this is something we are.
Need a
with,
donation.
because I know the library, sometimes they get rid of old books. You know,
What we do, because, and they have it here, we just haven't started Friends of the Library. We get a lot of books that are donated, and a lot of those, I know that, when the teachers go, we'll just donate it to them, they wouldn't have to pay, just to build up the library, so there's a lot that we'll welcome for them to go out to the homes. We're trying to get volunteers to get the one going here.
And actually on that, we used to have a pediatrician. Some pediatricians have that as almost like their own mini library. The kids go to the doctor visit, they can pick out a book. It's just another way to get the kind of stuff.
And 3, the other adult programming in June and July. So right now, after I finish, I'm gonna have to go over to the floor and start the Father's Day appreciation event. So we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna read a book. We're gonna read two books to our father, to our also their children. It's Because Your Daddy Loves You. And the other one is Naciste para mí in Spanish. And that one's gonna be an active 360 so we can promote our online books too. So it should be fun. So I have that going today. And then we're gonna have also the Do Yourself Beach Frame for parents so they can put pictures there with their children or their pets. So they can enjoy it. We're also going to have the beach in a bottle, and of course, our bring your own book club. So people are more than welcome to come over and bring in their books, and then we discuss it in the roundtable with their favorite books. So it's been mostly cooking books. The people that have brought over cooking books, and we've discussed from tamales to pozole. I don't know nothing about that, but we actually learn from each other.
Well, let's go ahead and put a picture.
Yeah.
You have one right
Yeah,
there.
we'll try them out if they're actually good, you know? But, so it's been fun. It's been fun with the book club because, we interact with our patrons, that's what we're here for. And then we learn from them as well. So we have those things going for, those events going for us here at the library and the field services. So if you want to join afterwards, we have the Father's Day event going on. It's some good price.
well, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
So now we move on to youth service.
Hello, everybody. My name is Taylor. I'm one of the services librarians. And actually, before I get started with the presentation here, we need to introduce one of our newest members at the library, Sarina Garcia. She is a new librarian. She is joining the youth services team with a focus on teen programming. As I'm sure a lot of you know, we've been struggling with the teen demographic. So we're excited to have Sarina on the team and hopefully start building up that programming focusing specifically on teens. So Sarina, did you want to introduce yourself or anything?
Yes, my name is Jaime Garcia. I'm so happy to be here and to start with Kayla and Katie to develop a good and strong team program for the Brownsville Library.
Where were you before? What, where have you had the experience in working with youth?
I have been working with Joe. I was in academic library and working as a medical receptionist.
Yeah, so I mean, to be fair, I didn't have much experience with youth services either. This is my first librarian position, so we learn as we go here, and trust me, we have learned a lot. So, Oceans of Possibilities, that is our summer reading program. That's the theme this year. So when I made this, we had, I put over 500 because I was like, I don't know where we're gonna be at when we actually present. We're actually at 680 registrations for summer reading. So we are, now we can move in So this is just some of our goals for SRP. So our goal is 700 total registrations. So we are almost at our goal for registrations. That goal is about 200 higher than last year. Last year we had around 500 total, so we upped the ante this year. For me, registrations are great. We love that they're, excited and they want to register, but my thing is that anybody can fill out a form because it's online and they just put their name and they're registered. So my real goal is our reading log. So that's what we want to get back from our patrons. We want them to actually take the time to read the books, fill out that reading log and bring it back to us. So I'm hoping to get at least half of them back this year. So that's 350 submitted reading logs is my goal for that. And we actually start accepting reading logs on June 25th. Another one of our goals is to have I could not figure out how to word that, but to have the same 50 patrons attending at least 5 of our programs. So you guys, during summer reading, we have a full calendar for June and July. We have all these events going on. People come and register and they get our calendar and then they never come back. So my goal is to have at least 50 of our patrons attending at least 5 of the programs. And the way that we're sort of keeping track of that is using these really neat brag tags. So I'll actually send it around to you guys, but we have 10 of these little tags, and patrons, if they collect at least 5 of these, they will be eligible for an extra entry into the prize giveaway. So they're not all the same design. They all have a different design, but the first 25 people that come to our programs will get a brag tag, and if they collect 5 of them, then they get entered into that extra giveaway. So that's kind of one of the incentives we have to get them to keep coming back to the library. And they actually are excited about those. On Saturday, we had our one of our first programs, and we saw all the patrons that went to kickoff. They had all their little brag tags. They were so ready for the next one. So it was exciting to see that they're actually excited to get their tags. And then my final goal on there is to have at least 400 attendees at our Fantastic Summer Dash. On June 25th, okay, on June 25th, we're having our Fantastic Summer Bash that's here at the Southmost Branch. That's going to be the big main event of the summer. We have RGB Aerial coming out. They're a group of aerialists from McAllen, so they're going to be here performing. We have the Brownsville Fire Department's going to be there. Cameron County Sheriff's Department is going to be there. We invited some vendors who are also going to be there. We're going to have carnival rides. We're going to have pizza. And if patrons who attend the Summer Bash, if they bring their reading log on that day, they get 2 entries into the giveaway. So that's another incentive for getting them to bring back their reading logs. So that is super exciting. We can go to the next slide. These are just some pictures from the kickoff party. We had our little pirate there who was a little bit grumpy, but his mom was super excited to have him there. He's one of our regulars who comes to almost everything. So it was just really cool to see everyone excited. On the top left-hand corner, we have patrons filling out these little fish. That's for our wall of readers. So ours here at Southmost is here right across the hall. They filled out these little oceans of possibilities certificates and put it there. Over at the main branch, we had little fish that we put on the book ends of the shelves. So those are just some pictures. Go to the next slide. So I was going to talk a little bit about outreach, but before I move on to that, does anybody have questions about summer reading?
So for the registration form, I guess what sort of information are you collecting?
So we're just getting their names and contact information. So, first and last name, their age group, because we have 4 different age groups. It's our babies, the 0 to 5, then our juvies, the 6 to 11, our teens, 12 to 17, and then our 18 plus. So we like to be able to keep track of those, and they all have different reading goals. The babies have to read 8 books, the juvies are 6. As the books get longer, they have to read less books. So our adults only have to read 3 books.
And I guess the next question is, what do you have a breakdown more or less of the age groups?
Right now, our biggest So our teams is the lowest registration, which like I said, those teams. And then our biggest group is actually our adults, believe it or not. The parents are registering for summer reading. It's probably because we're like, register too, like there's adult prizes, so, but they're all registering as well. And then our little ones are right about in the middle.
Adults are, so what age group?
Adults, 18 plus. You know, a lot of our winter Texans are coming in, they're registering. Our parents who, you know, their ages range from anywhere from 20 to 40, so they're all registering. So, and then we're not asking for specific ages either. We're just sticking with our age groups.
And so you're saying teens are a hard group to.
They're a hard group to reach. I mean, they're too full for school a lot of the times, you know, or they're just very busy.
Don't mind, I'd like to jump in here. So I did share that the district, the ISD, has a read initiative for the summer.
Mhm.
And has there been any contact made?
Yes, I actually contacted the English departments. And my biggest question was, are these books already available to the students? And the answer was yes.
Yes.
So those books were already available. The reception is not always there from them. I kind of asked like if there was anything that we could partner on, and basically they were just like, the kids get the books, and then that was the end of the email.
Is
So.
this through curriculum?
Hmm?
Is this through curriculum?
Mhm. I don't know, it was the English department heads. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
Allison Kamaya is a contact using curriculum, and I had CC'd her when I reached out concerning having a set issued for both branches, so it can maybe be something which can be displayed, not furnished, but to promote, encourage the reading that's expected of the students throughout the summer. And I don't know if there's any tie-in, possibly for space and STEM students, that's some kind of activity maybe, just a suggestion.
I think that's all like future things. Like right now, starting that just coming in and Kitsy and I being really stretched in with, you know, all the programs that we have going on. We do in the future want to, you know, make all those connections and reach out. And it's actually, it's working. We've been contacting people, and we're going to talk about it in outreach. Like we do have elementaries contacting us to go out there and you know, do programs with them. So it's all future things. I've only been librarian here for a year. I'm still trying to learn everything, but with Sarinette here, I think we're going to build, and you know, our future librarian that I know interviews might be coming up. So, you know, we're going to do what we can to reach out to the ISD and try and see what we can do, because like I said, teens are that typical demographic. Like even, I don't know, sounds like I'm making excuses, but they're busy. I remember when I was in high school, I was so busy all the time. It was just, you know, it's one of those things. So we do want to see like, what do they need exactly, and how can we help them with that?
Part of it would be like, and I have a teen now, 14-year-old son, and it's, he loves to read, but I mean, it's like, it's got to be a different incentives too, I guess, probably. Because you're right, because it's, and they're in a different school district also with the STISD, but they also have summer reading lists as well. Like there's stuff, books they're expected to have read over the summer. I agree, it seems to be a good, some way that we should tie that in.
Yeah, and so it's definitely something that we want to, like, you know, keep in mind for next summer when we have full staff. And then of course we're going to keep reaching out. I have the emails for all the librarians in the ISD, and I've been like contacting people, or they've been contacting us and collecting those emails. So eventually I do want to send out this big email blast that kind of gets, hoping for feedback from them. Maybe send out a survey, see what kind of stuff that they'd be willing to partner with us. But you know, that's all dependent on how much responding.
Let me interject.
Yeah.
You're doing a fantastic job, young lady, compared to the way this library used to be. My compliments to you all, because I used to come over here, it's 100% improved. And I have made contact, but let me update you. that I did talk to Dr. Gutierrez, superintendent of schools, and we already had a presentation that we were gonna have at the end of the school year. But due to circumstances that happened and the principal's going to leave the campus, we were not able to do that. And we were given 10 minutes of everything that you offer, and, you know, that they can have field trips here.
May I have your attention, please? I'll welcome big and small please report to the storytime area. We will have a special Father's Day presentation.
We might go off the challenge right after.
Okay, that's great. This young man was there, and he was part of the presentation that we're doing. And it's fantastic. I saw it. I was very excited. I did talk to Dr. Gutierrez last week, and what he's going to go ahead and do is that during the in-service training at the beginning of school year, that's where they're going to give the 10-minute, you're going to be there with a 10-minute presentation, and to all the principals, so they can know what's available for the kids, because I myself was not aware of all the services that you provide. I myself went enrolled in some of the things that you're doing. So I've already made that contact with you, and it will happen in August, and I'll get back to you what's going to happen. But it's too many things happen with school districts. Principals going to leave their campus, so we were not able to do it. And he's very excited about it, and my 100% improvement here. My compliments to the staff.
And following up with that, when I heard about that presentation that was gonna happen, I was like, well, why aren't I emailing principal? So I went and I found all their emails, and they were now on my email list, so they will get that monthly blast of flyers, calendars, and everything that we have.
And that will be better than to send it to the libraries, because they only have a certain line of authority. But now we're going to the top. We're going to the principals. It's going to filter on. And like I said, it's a fantastic video presentation that this young man did. So we're going to be able to have that, because otherwise we're like you said, you're not able to reach them. You give them to the librarians just put them there, because, there's a chain of command to be followed. So I've already done that. So we will be having it in August.
I was going to add myself, anything related to teens, if you need ideas for content, great, please, I'm willing to help. We will put my kids in camps in Austin and Houston, sometimes virtually. We have friends who are the same through their libraries, right? Like there's creative writing is a big thing now at different libraries. So absolutely, if you need any ideas, I'm definitely interested in helping.
Well, maybe when we present, and then maybe have some time so they can see some of the board members also. That will help tremendously, to introduce.
It's all these times, as I'm looking at all the time, it's summer reading that they want to read. It's sometimes kids want to get ahead and have out of subjects. And so there's books about what they need to read. And there's some very motivated kids, I think, sometimes. And I'm not even sure what the ideas would be. If they're having to do it anyway, if they can tie in with something here, but then I know like the same prizes may not appeal to teenagers as maybe younger kids. So, I don't know the answer, but I'm interested in finding out.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a, what is that word? Like when you test it.
Trial and error.
No, trial and error. Thank you, Monica. It's gonna be very much trial and error with teens. I think, I know we've been looking at other libraries, and they have teen advisory boards, which, it's kind of like a little library board, but they're all teens and they're advocating for other teens. So that's something that we've been considering. I've also, it's not something I've completely brought up yet, but we're also considering, I've been considering doing like a social media ambassador. So this would be targeting teens who would promote library services on their social media, and that would earn them volunteer hours. So just things like that, that we just haven't gotten around to. But now that SADINet is here, it's gonna help us get some of these things off the board, so.
With BIC, it's the accelerated reader. And I had already contacted library services, and they were all on hold, but like things happened and we weren't able to do it. But because that's the one thing BIC said, we want to focus on reading. So you're perfect.
So, and I love reading, that's why I became a librarian. But since working with these kids and like meeting their families, I realized that, yeah, the books, you know, they love the books, but they also love doing other stuff. Like, they especially love it when they get to make something and then take it home, which is, you know, big makerspace, but children's does that a lot too. And so they're like, yes, I want to focus on reading and AR and literacy, but I also want to like, this could be a place where they can
Fun
have
stuff.
fun. Yeah, like, you know, if I'm at school for 8 hours and then I had band practice and then I have homework, and then I go to the library and do more work, like, we want to be able to give them an outlet to relax as well. So find a healthy balance there. So outreach. We recently went to Ben Wright Elementary and did a story time for their second graders. It was a lot of fun. We read some books, we had a little activity for them. And then we might be going out to Morningside Elementary, and then Keller Elementary also contacted as well. So we are going out to Keller Elementary. I forgot what elementary school it is, but they're actually coming to us for the Exploration Theater later on in June as well. So like I said, it's growing to the point where we were like, we created a form for these things because we were getting so many phone calls and wires were getting crossed. So now we have a form that all of our staff have access to. So that way, when someone calls, we can just give them the link to the form and they can apply for a library visit. So we're growing. The word is getting out there. I think a lot of it is also due to Courtney, who advocates for us like crazy. So our name is growing. So we're really excited.
Very good.
Yeah, and that's it for the services.
Thank you. So now we're going to hear about Makerspace.
I love that one.
Hi, so I'm Lázaro, Makerspace Advisor. So 3D printing, just an update on that. Especially at Maine, it continues to grow. Southmost, it's been kind of up and down, keeping kind of a steady amount of requests. But at Maine, we do continue to see that steady growth. Because those numbers have been a little bit more stable at Southmost, I have been bringing some of those prints over this way to kind of alleviate some of the workload from Maine. And it's been working out that way. We're able to keep within our 2 weeks turnaround time. Otherwise, if I didn't bring those prints over to this site, we were looking at starting to have to extend that to the third week, and I really did not want to do that to our patrons. So by keeping that transition, it's been helping us keep up with the patron request. And there's plenty of people that are very, very interested in 3D printing everything from, I've had 6-year-old ask me about it, and they told me that they were going to convince mom and dad to teach them how to do 3D designs, that they can make their own designs, which is good. And I also told them, okay, well, these are the free programs so that they could learn it as well. And all the way up to adults that are full-blown engineers that are now submitting requests because their figurines are breaking apart or they need parts for work as well. So we're getting all types of requests. Towards the end of the school year, I did have a couple of engineering students and 3D modeling students request their prints as well, and they were able to submit those to their corresponding professors and teachers to get bonus points based off of that. And I have this information just off of emails because I do have to communicate and ask them more detailed information on these requests. And that's when they tell me, hey, it's for school, could we get this printed quicker? And I'm like, I'll get it as soon as I can, but I do have a list that I have to go through. So those are the updates for 3D printing. In regards to the renovation, it does continue. The image on the left side is where we were at last month. The image on the right side is where we were at last week. And since last week, there's additional updates. We now have windows up. They are currently working on getting the ceiling tiles painted and getting all of that worked out. So we are nearing completion. I'm hoping that by the end of summer, it is 100% done and we're able to get our makerspace up and running here at South Bronx. Go ahead. And then for special events, we were one of the first programs for summer reading program. and we kicked off with Steamboat. The instructions for that program was, here's a balloon, here's a straw, and here's a piece of foam. Build a boat. The kids panicked for a brief second, and I was like, Mom and Dad could help you. They continued to panic, it was fine. But bottom left side, you could see all of the different designs that all of the different kids came up with along with their parents. And this helps give them that confidence of, oh, I could come up with a design and possibly go into the STEAM field because I gave them no instructions other than I need this device to float and I need it to get across the kiddie pool. As you see the image with the blue pool and the blue balloon, that was one of the boats that made it across the entire pool. Image at the very top, those are the kids lined up to get ready to test their boats to see if they would sink or swim. And the kids on the top left, they are our 3 winners. I had 3 competitions. The young boy with the blue shirt, he was our fastest boat across the pool. The young boy with the gray shirt, he was the boat that lasted the longest with the balloon inflating and moving the boat throughout the pool. And the young lady in the middle with her purple shirt, I selected one of our random staff members that did not help with the program because I didn't want there to be any bias. And the boats were laid out in front of them, as you see below, and I told them, pick whichever one you think is the prettiest. And that little girl went above and beyond. Her boat is the one that has the little grid pattern. And she explained to the person that her boat was made out of wood, and what she could see there was the wood pattern on of the boat. So she was the winner for the most creative design in that sense. It was very, very popular. We had 28 people in attendance, which considering that our numbers were starting to go down these past couple of months, that was a big, big turnaround. And a lot of it helps that we've been collaborating with the children's department and the other departments of the library as well. Outreach has been getting word out of our programs as well. So we have been seeing those, that increase in numbers. Just an update on, just for future updates, the Southmost Steamboat program that will be on June 22nd. And then next month's programs will be the Art Splash, where they'll be making a piece of art that will be displayed in our makerspace department. I think that's it. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. Any questions?
Just a question. I mean, this is my first meeting here. I really wasn't know. I go to the library weekly with my son and check out books. I really didn't know y'all had all these programs. So I'm just kind of like, oh, this is these all free programs that we're all doing.
Yeah, and you're not alone in not knowing these things. Some of our events, we have parents come and we're like, hey, you here to register for some reading? They're like, well, no, I was here to return my books, but I'm here now. So that's another thing that I think we've been combating is how to reach patrons who we haven't reached before. It's like we put stuff on our Facebook page, we put stuff on Instagram, but that only reaches the people who already know about us, right? So I think Courtney's been doing a really great job of trying to reach those people that have no idea about us. So
like I said, I don't make them. I just, when I see like they'll have a calendar, but I never like look at it and we just walk
yeah,
in and look at the book.
a lot of that has to do with like our staff. We have some staff who are great about being take the calendar and do this, and then we have some staff that, you know, they're shy. It's not that they don't want to, it's just that they're maybe a little bit shy. So we're just encouraging our staff to, hey, tell people what we have going on.
Yeah, and another thing that we're working on is we're rotating the staff that helps with the different programs. And I have seen that some of our staff becomes more excited and starts promoting those different programs as well, because they've been able to participate. I've also been open more to input from the staff of if they have an idea of specific programs that they might want to do. I mean, we're open to listen to them and they could pitch the idea. And if it's a good idea, we go with it. And then they start promoting it as well. So we've been seeing not just our regulars, but we've even gotten to know some of our staff's family members because they come in for those specific programs that the staff are creating.
Well, then now let's talk about outreach.
My turn. So, welcome board members. My name is Courtney Taylor and I'm the library services coordinator for both branches. And what I traditionally do
And what we're talking about today is kind of promoting outside these four walls or the additional four walls at Main Branch. So one of the outreaches that we were able to continue this month was with Jubilee. We did their family fun days, and this particular one, the one towards Livingway, was able to see fire department and other entities here with the library to be able to promote reading to children and gave out books. We gave out flyers. We asked them to check out our social media and kind of like and follow us that way in order to get additional prizes, which can include our BPLS cups. We promote summer reading program and really just had a good time playing outside and getting a little bit burnt myself. At this particular event with Livingway, we were able to outreach to an additional 154 patrons. Next slide, please. So Jubilee noticed that we kind of got super burnt at that first outreach and decided to have their second engagement indoors. So we were able to bring some of our games that we have for libraries here to their branch while we were inside. So you get to see that we were having fun playing Connect 4 with the children, as well as giving out additional outreach items. We had other collaborating partners that we went and conferred with to help with summer reading program and get more outreach engagement through them and through the community, as well as we got to see PD do their bike rodeo information, which we posted live on Facebook so that other patrons can see if they're not able to go to these specific events. This family fun day had less people at 94, but it was because there were additional city events happening that day. We were competing with 5 other events throughout the city, including the Parks Department having one of their bigger events, and they had the farmers market and everything towards the hours that we were dealing with here. So we just asked people both in person and social media, you know, you can go to these other events, but come see us too. You know, we're always here and available to you. Next slide, please. This is one of the later events that happened during this past month. And it was a collaboration with Grants Department for the International Southmost Choice Community Event, which, as you can see, we had tons of entertainment happening with local bands, with Roca and the dancers, as well as going out to the community to give out additional free items like food services. We had where they were able to get free t-shirts because with this grant, they were trying to find out what the Southmost community themselves want to be engaged here so that we can get additional grants and provide additional services to this area to make the community fully involved in the process, not just what our city leaders are deciding, but what people themselves are requesting and seeing. And this is one of the events that we stayed live longest for. We do have some issues when going live with music in the background. It kind of gets us blocked on Facebook. But because a lot of the songs here were more towards Tejano hits, we were able to kind of get away from Facebook's regular algorithm of popular music for the United States to get away from the blockage. But it was really nice to see Golomsky here and to see other city leaders really invested in the Southmost community. And this was one of our higher populated events that we were able to go to, that we helped see over 772 patrons and people that we actively spoke to during this event, including Mr. Giva stopped by for a while and some other library staff members just to see what cool options we could do. And we came back with a cool t-shirt, so I'm happy about it. Next event. We also tried to outreach to the Mexican consulate as part of a continuation of the Vega Leche event that happened in April. They requested that we kind of meet their patronage and see what library services we're able to extend to them. This event had lower numbers of 61, but we are working to fix our calendar to better adhere to their calendar. It's just because we have staffing, not issues. We have conflicts of interest because their traditional busy day is Tuesday and we have computer classes that day. So we need to find the happy medium. So with that change in computer classes schedule happening at July, we'll be able to go on the days that they also have their vaccine clinics, which should up our numbers. Next slide, please. Another collaboration we were able to do was with AARP. We were able to go to the hurricane prevention preparedness event. We were able to see 408 additional people, as well as promote non-traditional library services that people don't really think about, like our Access 360 books are fully downloadable onto your digital devices. So if you are having a power outage and you already have those devices charged and you have your books set there, you can read while the power is out or have additional information from the library that you won't have to be landlined in or have active Wi-Fi to be able to integrate. That should be all of the slides I have today. Do you guys have any questions for me on collaboration?
I am just curious, any, some of these events I wasn't even aware of in the community. Any, I guess, upcoming events in June?
We do have additional events that we're going to, again, hitting the Mexican consulate. We are going to another Jubilee event this weekend on Saturday. Ms. Bertha and Mr. Perry will be going for us, as well as through BISD. We've had a couple of the summer school librarians contact us to be able to come read to their students. So Children's is going to help out, reach out with that because they're experts and really invest in learning through them. So we had the Illinois librarian outreach to us this past week to see if we could go during their sessions, as well as I want to say it's Cameron Park Community is also doing something for their summer reading program in their summer school and asking us to outreach them. So I hope that these inclusions of us during summer will move on to the regular school year and don't remember us there as well.
I agree. I was not aware of these events that were taking place. I think maybe if the communication, if you would all email us to let us know that this is going to happen. This is the first time I hear about it. And I have to stay out of crowds right now, but it would have been nice, you know, to be aware of what's going on. The one that was held at Gonzalez Park, and the funding was done through the music and where did the dancers come from? Who paid for them?
The dancers were part of ROCA, but it was brought to us in part by a grant that community development block did, as well as kind of all of the city, right?
So it's
They looked
basically a
into their
city
parks.
event, correct?
Well,
Or,
yes and no.
or they're the ones that applied for the grant and then
Yes.
helped
And we had the collaborating partners. So we weren't the full lead on the grant, but we were a collaborating partner to it. So that's kind of where our involvement came to be for that, is the records department. The request was specifically and actually requested library thinking of the southmost area and us being a fully identifying entity here, but a lot of the funding is for around the library and in the library. You're still down the party.
Parks and Recreation through their summer program, I know they're wanting to see about using their puppets for their reading. I'm not familiar as far as their itinerary, how their programming is.
So I actually have spoken with Laura Holbrook a lot. I visited her over at Gonzalez Park. We did pancakes with Santa through her. She is actually bringing some of those summer camp kids to the library to do makerspace tours. And let me tell you, Laura loves puppets. She brings them up every time I talk to her.
That's how I
But the thing is with puppets, you have to have people who can do puppets, you know, like, so it is, I mean, like I said, it is something that's on like that list of future ideas. So yeah, I'm very familiar with Laura. I do talk to her quite a bit, and it was through that collaboration that, you know, she was like, oh, can I go see the makerspace? So that communication is there. I'm familiar with her.
I guess, I think I'm supposed to volunteer for something, puppets came up. So, I'm part of this, it's called Texas Law Related Education and State Bar of Texas Committee. So every year they always have new, like civics related education, good citizenship, law related stuff. And so they have these new programs with like a puppet. It's supposed to be like using in my local community, I need a volunteer. Yeah, we have, every year they come up with different products. It's like, there's one of them's, you know, the one I'm thinking about has a puppet and it has a book to go with it. And it's reading about like what different people do in the community, you know, police officers, firefighter. Kind of like, like I said, like good citizenship, civics. If you need us, it's not volunteer.
But I would suggest if you're ever looking for ideas for games, if you go to Texas LRE, they have lesson plans, they have games. It's a fabulous. I use some of those in my college teaching, as a matter of fact, and they're really good, and they give you everything you need. The other suggestion that I had, have you all thought of going to the mall? I don't know if they would allow you, but you know, that might be a good place to see people in the summer, and it's inside and it's air conditioned. So, and there's a lot of traffic, so that might be something to consider. Maybe even when they do blood drives, sometimes they have blood drives.
Oh, we're actually doing a blood drive for the library side.
Oh, that's great.
It's happening in August. So when I talk about something that happening.
You know, one of my former students at Russell Elementary makes puppets. She's in California, in fact, very renowned. She made the puppet for Michelle Obama as she was traveling. Maybe I can get her mother to, if she ever comes in, to make a voluntary, to maybe, that would be great.
So that pretty much concludes. Would anybody like to make a motion?
I just have one question for all of y'all. I know the July's coming up, and I know Mr. Olivo said he's going to be out. One other board member says they're going to be out. Would you guys like to meet in July or meet up in August? I don't know what your schedules are for July, if you have any summer plans with family.
I'm going to be out.
So
I want to be out too. I'm having surgery on the 29th, so I won't be.
So that would leave us down to only, no, I think Ms. Gonzalez said that she might also be out in July, so we wouldn't have a.
It's the second Monday in July.
Yeah, the second Monday. Well, actually, because 4th of July lands on the Monday, we wouldn't meet until the 18th of July, which would be the third Monday of the month, because that's the second active Monday for us. So it'd be the 18th of July would be the next meeting. So if you choose to meet, we could wait, or we could leave it off and meet in August, depending on how you.
If we choose to meet those who can, we would make quorum, right?
Yeah,
I'll be out of town.
We won't have
Just
the
Mark be present and just tell me now, don't show up.
okay. It sounds to me that we probably won't have a quorum by then, so I will keep you updated, but so I'll get with the other members to make sure.
But I would say if there's any, like we just talked about, any events in July happening.
I'll send you guys the calendar, what we have right now. I should have done it already, I apologize. So I'll send you the calendar and any other events that are coming up that you are going to do any outreach for. I'll send you those events as well. The flyers.
The email.
Yes.
And text me and say, I check your email.
Okay, we'll do. All right, that's it.
Would anybody like to start the motion to adjourn the meeting?
I make a motion that we adjourn the meeting.
Any second? Well, why don't we have our new member give a second?
Yes, okay.
Okay, and with that, all those in favor of us adjourning, say aye. I now hereby say this meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much,
Thank you.
and y'all are doing a fabulous job.
Keep up the great work. Wow. No. So I'm very,